Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the tornado. Now, if you don't like ladders, go ahead and immediately shut down this video because we have lots of them. So, the tornado is what happened when over on Reddit somebody made a vertical ship challenge. And then decided to say vanilla might struggle with it. Well, I am using the ship flip glitch in a few spots, but there are no mods, and this is a very vertical ship. Now, I nominally shoved this ship into the destroyer category, um, with the idea that destroyers are designed more as short range combat ships that don't necessarily have to go on extended deployments. Um, my standard destroyers need to sleep at least four, have a galley, and this is the primary one that's missing, a cargo hold. I do have an armory, and somewhere in there I should have an infirmary. Um, Additionally, destroyers only need about 1,000 cargo and about 200 fuel, and this ship well exceeds that. Finally, I decided to make this ship a Class B ship, though you probably could very easily make it into a Class C. However, one note of warning, this ship is 127 parts. This means that I am 3 parts short of the base game's part cap. That being said, I am using a mod that allows me to go over that part cap. However, I did verify that you can still build the ship without that mod. You will, however, need to have the ship flip glitch enabled. So, if you want to experiment with a very vertical ship, then come join me for the tour. There will only be a couple ladders inside. Now, one thing I will note is that this ship was inspired by the Tornado from EVE Online. So the Tornado in EVE is it's a battle cruiser, but it's one of the special ones that can use battleship guns. So it's primarily used, at least when I was last playing, as a long-range artillery piece where you can go ahead and get all the heavy artillery damage in with a lighter and more maneuverable ship. Preferably from extreme ranges, so that way, if somebody objects to what you're doing, you can just giggle at them and say, well, come get me if you can. Yeah. But that's where I got the inspiration for the design. So, you can see we are entering into the Tayo landing bay here. I chose to use the Tayo here because since the ship is only 1 hab wide, I did not want to have a side-mounted docker. And I have extra greebling on top, which means that I need a bottom-mounted docker. So therefore I have to have this companionway right here, so I have my docker right there. Moving up 1 level, we find ourselves in the Stroud Armory. Or it might be in the Damos Armory, not sure. On the back of the armory, there's a door that's leading us to a companionway, and the next ladder up. What's here? We have a computer room. Not sure which one. I think it might be Tayo. Up one more, and we have the Dymos 3x1 Engineering Bay B. Coming back here. Whew, that ladder goes up way. I might actually have to use a ladder. And we have our infirmary. And then forward of the infirmary, we have, looks like a tile 2x1 living quarters. Now, of note in this living quarters, it does come with 2 beds and a small galley. And I'm going to be completely honest, when I was building this, I just started throwing in random habs that I don't normally use because I have so many of them available. Alright, above that, we have the Tayo 2x1 all-in-one. At least this one has a bathroom in it. Continuing up another level, we find ourselves in the Tayo control station. There's a ladder over here, and here we finally get into our Kontiki Bridge. Lovely view. And don't worry, we are only halfway done with the ship. Oh boy. Continuing to climb the ladder. Definitely don't fall. We have another Tayo control room. Yeah. Nope. Keep climbing. Alright, finally we got to the top of that ladder in another Tayo 2x1 all-in-one. And then we come forward and we get another ladder. This one is leading into the Nova Galactic living quarters. Alright, and then another ladder. And this is leading us into the Deimos 3x1 living quarters. And we've got a window. Hey, look! We started all the way down there. Oh boy. Let's go up another ladder into another Tayo 2x1 all-in-one. I lost count of how many beds I have now. Alright, let's go up another ladder. Oh hey, look, it's the captain's quarters. And going up another ladder, we have... I believe this is the Tayo 3x1 engineering bay? Could be wrong. And another ladder. Going up into... I don't know, I think this one is the Tayo computer quarter. And what's the bottom computer core? Maybe Stroud? I don't know. Anyways, but hey, look, we are finally at the top of the ship. There's no more ladders going up. Now all we have to do is go back down. Alright, so coming down 1. Coming down 2. Alright, so we've got 1 bed. 3. Okay, we are now up to 5 beds. 4. 6, 7 beds. 5. 8. 9 beds. 10, 11, 12, 13 beds. Fourteen, 15, 16, 17 beds. 18, 19 beds. Alright, I think we're out of living spaces. Alright, so we've got 19 beds total on this ship. Alrighty, that was a lot of letters. Speaking of ships that you'll probably just go in and hit R to immediately go up to the cockpit on. Yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead and see how the ship is built. Now, normally, I go ahead and select everything and delete it. However, I'm gonna be honest, I would lose track of which habs are which on this thing. So instead of deleting everything, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this over here as a reference. And then I'm going to rebuild it right over here, right next to it, just for you. So, we are, of course, starting with the shipment 200 landing bay. Or, there we go. Only need to go down 8. Oh boy. And then we are immediately entering into the Deimos companionway. Now, you might ask, why Deimos? Because it's at the top of the list. That's it. There was no further thinking going on there. Now, normally I will go ahead and basically build my way upwards, or with the habs first. However, for this ship, I'm going to instead basically build it level by level, one after another, all the way up to the top. Because otherwise, I'm going to get lost. So, let's start with level -1, I guess, by slapping on the docker. So, we have the landing bay going into our companionway, and then our docker. You can make this literally whichever 1x1 hab you would like. Then, I'm going to go ahead and grab my landing gear. So, I am not flipping landing gear over itself. So, there is exactly one of these landing gears on each of these spots. There's no flipping going on here. And I will delete this one as we add the pieces. There we go. Alright, let's go up one level. So I have the Stroud Armory. So let's come on over here. And if you want a different armory, by all means, go ahead and choose it. And the Stroud Armory is located directly over the landing bay and the companionway. Behind that, I have a Tayo companionway. Again, just choose whatever. I went the mid here. So choose whatever you would like. You do not need to choose the same thing here. And realistically, it's more all about stacking up habs and using up enough space to get to the right height. I will note I am primarily using Tayo, so that way I can get these smoother sides, rather than, say, right here, you can see this would be more squared sides along this. And I wanted to avoid that simply so that way I don't need to use more side caps. Because, as mentioned, I was near the parts limit. Before I go any further, let me also go ahead and just get my colors in my palette. As a Minmatar inspired ship, we do of course need to go with kind of a rusty red color. Now, I have my habs here. Before I go ahead and start putting things on the side, I first need to come onto the bottom and I need to go ahead and grab my landing gear. So this is the last piece of landing gear. I have one NG20. And this means that I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 12 total landing thrust. So my total ship cannot weigh more than 2,400 mass. Otherwise, I run out of landing thrust. Next up, going to pop on over here to the structural tab, and I'm going to grab a Deimos belly, place it, and then I'm going to flip it into place over this landing gear. All right, now for the structural elements on this layer. So you can see I have the Hope Tech thruster, which is located right here. I have 3 Tayo side caps on each side. Just scroll all the way on down. And then on the back, I have the Hope Tech nose cap. Alrighty. So now that I've put my pieces in place, let's delete them from the reference and see what is next. Alright, looks like I chose to use the Stroud computer core here. So let's go ahead and repeat that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this right here above the companionway. So we've got one slot in front of it that is open. Then right here I'm going to go ahead and place the Deimos cowling. And then on the back I have a Deimos belly. And then covering these sides, I stuck on Caravel V102 cargo holds. So these give us 300 cargo each. And the total cargo for the ship comes entirely from these stacked on along the sides. Now, deleting things, you'll see, hey look, I have a Vanguard Bulwark shield generator. So for this ship, I was looking around and I decided to go ahead and make use of the Vanguard equipment, so that way I didn't have, just a random shield sticking off on the side and looking kind of awkward. Another thing that you could do is you could go ahead and have the shield, what's it called? The 28T Defender shield, and somewhere that you've got the side cap facing in but not into a habitable portion, you could do like a Deimos hull, or you can see I've got the 900T HE3 tank. I could very easily replace that with, say, the, what's it called? 500T, which gives me enough fuel for it to be a destroyer. And then in the other spot, I could go ahead and stick a Deimos hull. Then I could go ahead and put the side cap on, flip this facing inwards from the side cap and connect it to the side cap, and then put the hull back in place. So that is an option if you want to use the 28T, or you don't have Vanguard. However, for me, I found it easier to just go ahead, grab the Vanguard, stick it on, and flip that into place. So, just for the reference of what I was talking about, so I have the 500T, and then if I go over here and I grab a Deimos hull, I can go ahead down here and grab my Tayo side caps. Once I put them in place, I can copy the Deimos hull up one, delete that, and then right over here, I can place that 28T Defender shield generator, and then duplicate the hull back down. And now this is all one cohesive thing, and the shield is facing inwards and not bumping outwards. And again, what I would do is I would just put that in right here in place of the 900T HE3 tank. However, the downside of doing that is that does mean that I need 2 pieces here instead of a single one, which means that I am now getting that much closer to hitting the parts cap. Again, I only have 3 spare parts according to the base game's parts limit. Alrighty then. So I am 3 levels up. What is level number 4? I have a Deimos Engineering Bay B. Perfect. Like it when it's nice and simple. So, place this so that way the ladder going through the computer core is going to be entering into the center of the engineering bay. And then you can see I went ahead and placed some more cargo on the sides. And then I also have my Tayo side caps. On the back of this, you can see that I have another Deimos belly. And then on the front of it, you can see I have a Deimos braking engine. And note, I went with Deimos and not Stroud here because the Deimos ones are shorter than the Stroud ones. I'm trying to get kind of a curved shape. Alright, this layer's done. So, we are now 4 levels up. Don't worry, we only have about another 15 to go. Anyways, so up from our engineering bay, here you can see we have a Tayo living quarters and a Tayo infirmary. Now, this living quarters could be literally any hab because we are connecting the sides or covering the sides, but I am using Tayo and specifically the top A here, so that way I have those smooth sides, which look kind of similar to the side caps without needing the side caps. So let's go ahead and grab our infirmary. And then pushing forward of that, as you can see, I went with the living quarters. Again, you can use literally any other 2x1 that you want here. And then here you can see that I have the side cap B with a Vanguard Obliterator on it. And then cargo, and then nothing attached here. So let's go ahead, grab my structural. And then I have a Hope Tech Nose B4 here. Alrighty. And then on the back of this, I have yet another Deimos belly. Alrighty then. So I am also going to go ahead and add those weapons as I go along, but let's just go ahead and copy them on over here. There we go. Alright, deleting the next level. Alright, so the next thing up, we have the Tayo all-in-one. We have the 900T HE3 tank, and we are starting our engine stack. So let's actually go ahead and make our engine stack first. So for engines here, I am just using the SAE 5660s. These are some of the best Class B engines you can get. And I just have 4 of them stacked on top of each other right here. And finally, we are beginning to see the light. Alrighty, so in front of this, I have that 900T HE3 tank. So let's come on over to fuel and place that. And then, as mentioned, I have a Tayo all-in-one, and this is the mid. Again, this could be any 2x1 that you wanted here, because we are hiding all the sides. But, you know, I'm on a Tayo binge, so let's just do it. Alrighty. Next up, I want to go ahead and cover the sides of the fuel tank with the Tayo side caps. And I want to cover the sides of this Tayo all-in-one with the Caravel cargo holds. And this is also the limit of the cargo holds for this ship. I am not running any more after this. Then right up front here, we have ourselves a Deimos cowling. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 levels done. We're working there. Now, taking a look at our reference, we can see that the upper levels of these side caps are actually side cap Bs. So that way we can place some more obliterators on it. Oh, there we go. Alright, so the next tab up, we have the Tayo control station, and this is the top A. And again, for this one, we are using the Tayo, specifically so that way we do not need to have something on the sides here to smooth out the sides some. One thing that I will note here is that if you yourself are running with a mod that removes the parts cap or raises the parts caps noticeably, I would also recommend going ahead and considering swapping some of these Tayo 2x1s out for whatever your favorite 2x1s are. Alright, so on the front of this one, we have another Hope Tech Noseby. Alright, and you can see we also have the Vanguard Obliterators on this level, so we are now up to 4 of them. Alright, so next up, behind this control station, we have another control station. Now, one of the things that I do want to note here is that I decided to make this a Class B ship. You could very easily make this a Class C ship instead, though you will need 2 more Tayo side caps to cover that, which again is getting us mighty close to that parts limit again. If you do that though, then you are going to need to change this hab here for a companionway, because we would need to have the reactor stacked behind here, basically directly on top of the fuel tank. Alright, but right here, I'm going to go ahead and grab my cockpit, which is going to be that Kontiki B600 bridge. There we go. And that is now that level all done. Whew. Slowly making it. Slowly making it. Alright. So this is about the halfway point of the ship. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 floors up. So what is next? Well, first off, we've got that 104DS mag inertial reactor. And then forward of that, we have the Tayo all-in-one. And again, a top A, so that way we don't need to put anything on the sides. Speaking of sides, let's go ahead and add those Tayo side caps. Again, here we want the B because we are using this to connect some weapon ports. Then, in the front of this, I am having a party. So you will note that up until this point, I have made use of the ship flip glitch to kind of cover this landing gear. And that's been about it for the flip glitches. This is going to be the next big spot where we are making use of them, though. So as you can see here, I have the Nova weapon mounts. Then I have a Taio spine B, and then I have a nose B. And on top of the spine, I have an equipment plate with a weapon, and then I have a Deimos belly attached above that. Just a little bit going on. So I'm going to go ahead and start by grabbing that Taio spine B. Note the Taio spines come in variant A and variant B. A does not have top and bottom connections. B does. That's basically it. Alright, on the front of this, let's go ahead and grab that Nova weapons mount. And on the top of this, let's go ahead and grab that equipment plate. Now let's pull the spine off to the side. Come over here and grab a nose B. I'm going to put this back, and then instead of flip glitching, I am variant glitching. So I'm changing it from B to A, back to B, and hitting cancel. And that works just the same. Alrighty. So now that we have the structural elements here, let's go ahead and add the weapons. So on the back, you can see I'm using the Vanguard Hellfire autocannons. Then, on this rear portion of the Nova weapon mount, I have the Exterminator 95. This is the Class B auto Helion beams. And then I have one more sitting on top of that equipment plate. Finally, on the inside of the weapon mount, I have my final two Vanguard Obliterators. There we go. And that is that level done. Oh boy, we're getting there. Alright, so on top of the engine here, I have a Deimos cowling. On top of the reactor, I have the Aurora 12G grav drive. This is giving us a 30 grav jump thrust. That's all that we need. Then, in front of that, I have the Nova Galactic living quarters, also known as literally whatever 2x1 hab you want. And then finally on the front of that, I have a Deimos belly. So let's pop on back over here to the structural. Oh hey, we are finally at level 0. Alright, let's flip that into place. And then let's go ahead and add some more Taio side caps. So for this first one, we can just copy that. And then convert that to the normal Taio side caps, and then put the weapon back on. And then we can repeat on the other side. Alrighty. Probably 2/3 of the way there now. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Alrighty. So, on top of this Nova Galactic living quarters, I have the Deimos living quarters. This is the 3x1 hab. And then it's back to the structural tab for yet more stuff. First, we're going to go ahead and grab our porthole. Then we are going to copy up our Taio side caps. just like so. And then here, you can see I'm getting into a little bit of funny business. I will note that this is not necessary. You could just go ahead and place a single Daimos cowling here. But here I did decide to go ahead and add a spine E to just kind of add a little bit more variation to the curvature here. So let's go ahead and grab that spine E, flip to the reverse, copy the cowling, put it over here, copy it again, flip it into place, and then we'll delete that one. Whew, we did it! On the bright side, we don't actually have to climb to get this high. And we can all do it in our nice computer chairs. Or from your couch if you're playing on Xbox. Alright, so we have our Dynamos living quarters. What's on top of that? We have a tile all-in-one. And again, this is the top A. So that way we do not need to attach anything to the sides. Now, I am doing this Dynamos Spine E and Dynamos Cowling trick again. So rather than flipping it back into place and watching as I fail again, I'm just going to select both and copy on up. Then right here, let's go ahead and grab that Hope Tech Nose B. And that is the next level complete. Alright, what's on top of that? Oh, looks like we get a captain's quarters. So I'm just going to copy this on up. Select the captain's quarters. And then off the back of that, I have the Hope Tech pipes. That connects perfectly on top of the Dynamos Spine E. And off the front of that, I'm going to go ahead and grab another Dynamos belly. You can see we curved back, have this little protrusion down the center, and now we are curving back forward some. Alright, so on top of the captain's quarters, you can see I have the Tayo engineering bay. And again, this is the A, so that way we do not need to attach anything to the side. And on the back, I have another nose B. And on the front, I have another nose B. Alright, one more habitable level and we're done. So let's go ahead and bring up the Tayo computer core. So I'm just going to copy the captain's quarters, swap that on over to the computer core. And then on this back piece here, let's go ahead and slap on our Dynamos cowling. And look, it's a Skeg. But wait, the Skeg doesn't have a back attachment. So how is that actually attached? Well, trickery and deceit. That's how it's attached. So what I'm going to do now is show you how this whole little section comes together. Now, first things first, I'm going to come on over here and I'm going to grab myself a Hope Tech pipes aft. And let's go ahead and bring our level up a little bit. And then I'm going to get another Hope Tech pipes. Then on this Hope Tech pipes, I'm going to come down to that, and I'm going to grab that Skeg A. Now that that is there, let me go ahead and remove this Hope Tech pipes, and then I'm going to go ahead and grab a Dynamos Spine F. So this has a normal connection on top, like so. And that causes problems when I try and flip the pipes back into place. So let's go ahead and place that spine E on top of it. And then we will go ahead and grab these pipes again and flip them into place. And now that that is flipped into place, this whole line is now actually connected to the rest of the ship. Then over here, let's come on down to Hope Tech and grab the Hope Tech marker A. And then we're going to remove these pipes again. And we are going to go ahead and grab the Deimos Spine E. And let's just be honest, place that there for a moment, so that way we can flip this into place, and then delete that. And then finally, a Deimos Spine A. Whew! We did it! We have finally completed the tornado. So, just to count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 abs high, as far as like places that you can actually climb a ladder to. And then 16, 17, 18 to get to the top of the marker. 18 habs high. And 9 meters wide. Technically, it is 30 meters long, but the base footprint is, well, a lot less. So, yeah. If you've watched this far, thank you. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all those YouTube things. Don't worry, we have only finally finished building the ship. Oh boy. Okay. I'm done. Hi, car. So, rather than climbing the ladders again, I am instantly going straight to the cockpit, and I am never climbing in the ship again. All I have to do now is just wait for the loading screen. Alright. Um, yeah. Well, there's that. Let's go ahead and take off. Once again, no mods needed to build this monstrosity. You are completely capable of making this affront to nature in the base game. Alright, so I'm going to reduce the power to all of that by 1, fully power the engines. And this is another fun part. So it takes kind of the top of the ship for the external view. And because the ship is so tall, I can't see the bottom. Except for when I push really far down. So if any ship is something that you want to drive from inside, this is probably it. So let's go ahead and come on out to Serpentis. And jump. Whew. Fully power those engines. Maneuver the sail about. Ooh, a Prophecy 3. Ooh, I am taking damage. Where'd you go? Ah, there we go. And a Eulogy 3. Where did you go? Ah, there you are. I'll lose more than the grav drive. There we go. Woo! I'm so used to driving from the third-person view that driving from internally feels a little weird, and I'm missing seeing the other ships shoot at me. But at the same time, the ship is so tall that it feels weird to drive it from the third-person view. So I'm not sure which version is better or worse. Alright, let's go check out this hostile activity. Now that is a view. Alright, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4 enemy targets. And woo! Bonk. Oof. I was pretty sure there was a ship there. Where'd it go? Alright. I have a Dirge 2 here. Eh, get back over here. There we go. And a Dirge 3. And if you haven't used them, Hellfire autocannons just rip through hull. There we go. Woo! And now we risk bashing into yet more asteroids to go ahead and get the last of our loot. Alright, and I should have enough time to visit one more planet. Let's go ahead and hit Serpentis 3. See who shows up. Oh, more asteroids. There we go. And to no one's great surprise, facing off against a single enemy ship goes quite easily. Alrighty. So, normally I go for like top-down views for my pictures, but yeah, definitely a side view ship for this. Whew. So again, if you've watched all the way to the end, thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.